Hello everyone, this is Shanmugaraj. Welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to talk about the project management principles, which has been explained in PMBOK 7th edition. Let's look at high-level overview of how the project management principles is getting done, right? So, what are the background behind these principles? So, all these project management principles serve as a foundational guidelines for creating a strategy, taking a decision, and problem solving techniques, right? So, totally, PMBOK is giving a 12 principles as part of project management principles. All the 12 principles align with values in PMI Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct. So, values in PMI Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct are responsibility, respect, fairness, and honesty. So, all 12 principles are aligned with these four values. All the principles were identified and developed by the global community of project management practitioners. All the principles are internally consistent. What does it mean is no principle in principle it does not contradict each other. In practice, principles can overlap each other. Principles is can overlap general management principle as well. That what does it mean to us is project management considers principles from general management as well. So these are the high level overview about project management principle. Let's look at each principle in detail. The first project management principle is be a diligent, respectful, and caring steward. Right. So, as a project manager, project team member, a stakeholder, you need to show a caring steward. You need to have stewardship. Stewardship includes integrity, care, trustworthiness, and compliance. Right? All the team members need to have integrity. Each other should have a care and respect, should be having a trust with each other, and should be compliant with the industry standards or organization policy and standards. Right? A holistic view of stewardship considers financial, social, and environmental impacts of the project they support. Right? If you are a project manager, you need to consider financial, social, and environmental impacts to the project so that you get a holistic view about overall perspective. The second principle is create a collaborative project team environment. A project team has made of individuals who are having diverse skills, knowledge, and experience. Right? You might have a cross-functional team and an agile framework. Right? A collaborative project team, that environment facilitates alignment with organization cultures and guidelines. They should foster a learning and development culture within the team across the projects. And it also helps optimal contributions to have a desired project outcomes. So that is one of the good reasons why project managers are responsible for creating a collaborative environment for project success. The third principle is effectively engaging with the stakeholders. The stakeholders influence your project's performance and outcomes. So it is very essential to engage different stakeholders at different point of time as required by the project. So stakeholder engagement means is proactively, engaging them, and it advances the value delivery. Right? If you rightly engage people at the right time and escalate the risk and get the things done, automatically your project get advanced in value delivery. You improve with your project success as well as the customer satisfaction. The fourth principle of project management is you should focus on the value. The project should focus on the value. What is it value? It is implies the project alignment to business objectives. It is not about only you are caring about the triple constraints of the project. You need to care about the business outcome. How project is aligned to business objectives. Value is the ultimate indicator of project success. right? The fifth principle is systems thinking, recognizing, evaluating, and respond to the system interactions, right? You need to have a system thinking in you executing the project if you want to do it in a holistic way to positively affect the project performance. You need to have a system thinking, right? The project is a system of interdependent and interacting domains of activity, right? See, if you look at that enterprise software development, it have multiple modules itself by itself. So each module, by a system itself, and it interacts with other modules, right? So look at the system thinking entails taking the holistic view of how the project parts interact with each other, how the each module is interacting with each other, and how this system is interacting with the external system, right? For example, if you're going for ERP implementation, let's say you are implementing SAP or Oracle, so you need to understand how the each module is interacting within the system and how this SAP or Oracle interacting with upstream and downstream systems, right? So being responsive to the system indications gives you improvement on the positive outcomes. The sixth principle is demonstrating the leadership behaviors. It's very important that leadership should be executed at every level. Leadership is different than authority, right? It is nowadays we're talking about a servant leadership. The effective leadership promotes a project success and bringing to positive project outcomes. Look at this. Any project team member can demonstrate leadership behaviors. So effective leaders adopt their own style to the situation. So it is very important to demonstrate an effective leadership behavior for project success. The seventh principle of project management is tailoring your project management processes based on the context. Right? Each project is unique. Right? Either it's a metro project or it is you are developing a CRM software, either developing a car and manufacturing a car or electrical vehicle. So every project is unique by nature, right? So what is a project success is highly aligned with having a most appropriate methods for having a desired outcomes, right? Since every environment is very different, you will be running a project in different culture setup, different regional setup, right? So you need to adopt the different culture and cultural aspects of the society, cultural aspect of the organization. So you need to adopt a most appropriate methods. The tailoring is approach is very iterative in nature, and it's a continuous process. You have to continually improve this tailoring process. You need to continuously value, when I say value, continually you need to monitor this tailoring, and accordingly you need to uh, tailor your processes based on the context and the changes in the environment. The eighth principle is build quality into the processes and deliverables. So built-in quality is a very essential project management principle. Whatever you deliver for a particular project, it should meet quality standards for a particular deliverable. It should meet the project objectives set forth by relevant stakeholders. The project quality entails satisfying the stakeholders' expectation, not only satisfying the stakeholders' expectation, but also fulfilling the project and the product requirements. They are very clear about project as well as the product requirements. What are the project requirements can be doing within a budget, within the schedule, are called project requirements. Product requirements, all the scopes, acceptance criteria of each features to be met. That's called product requirements, right? The ninth principle is navigating complexity. It's very very important principle. You might come across different complexity while you executing the project. Complexity can be a result of a human behavior, because you might have a different set of people of different set of value systems, right? So human behavior can result in complexity, system interaction, uncertainty and ambiguity, right? All the set of risks can, natural calamities or something, any event can result a complexity of the project. So complexity can be introduced by the events and conditions that that affect value, scope, communication, stakeholders, risk, and technological innovation. Right. So look at that. COVID situation. Right. It's an unprecedented situation. Every industry was going through this situation. Right. So everybody is navigating the complexity, every business is navigating the complexity of this unprecedented COVID-19 situation. And that is one of the examples of how the businesses navigated the complexity. The 10th principle is optimizing the risk responses, right? So every project has exposure to risk for both opportunities and threats, right? Risk are addressed to be addressed continuously throughout the project. It's very important that project manager tracks all type of risk, as within the project, outside the project, environmental risk, all these things need to be tracked. Okay, how the risk response should be, the risk response should be appropriate, should be cost effective, realistic within the project context, agreed by relevant stakeholders, and should be owned by responsible person. Most critical person is the project manager. The 11th principle is embracing adaptability and resiliency. In today's context, the business agility, your adaptability to respond to the changing conditions, right? So look at the scenario of COVID-19, inflation, and central banks interest rate changes. So business should be adaptable to the responding to the changing condition. Your market changes, your government policy changes, everything changes. So you should be able to adapt, and respond to the changes positively. And what is resiliency? Resiliency is the ability to observe the impacts and recover quickly from the setback or a failure. How the businesses came back from a COVID-19, how did they observe the impact and how they recover quickly. We have seen that. So it is very, very important principle that the project team and project management leadership team should be able to build a team, a culture of adaptability and resiliency. The 12th and final principle is enabling change to achieve the envisioned future state. Right? A project is a unique by itself. It is producing a certain outcome which is unique in nature. It's at a finite start date and end date, right? So you need to understand where you are starting and what is your target state. See, most of the projects you might do some kind of a transformation, okay, some kind of a change you will be involving in it. It could be a digitalization change, or it could be changing entirely a particular technology for a particular project, right? So the change is a structured approach which is organization is transitioning from the current state to the future state. What is very important is the stakeholder engagement and motivational approaches assist in change adoption. So very important factors in change adoption is stakeholder engagement and motivational approaches. Nowadays, if you look at the software industry, there are a lot of programs going on in a agile transformation perspective. Right? Personally, I am heading the agile transformation for my company. I'm doing all the projects which are in waterfall. We're converting everything to agile, using Scrum and Kanban and XP and Lean methods, right? So that's how every program or project might have some kind of envisioned future state which you need have change management process in place, right? So these are the 12 principles of project management. If you are able to adopt, able to follow this 12 project management principles within your project execution, mostly you will get into positive outcomes or better business outcomes. Let's get into more probability of project success. Thank you for listening. Let's go for tomorrow as some other topics on project management. Thanks a lot.